Welcome back to the video on the channel, giving my instant reaction to Dominic Thiem progressing through to tomorrow's ATP Finals final to face either Daniil Medvedev or Rafa Nadal after defeating Novak Djokovic in 3 sets in what was an all-time classic match. This couldn't really be anything else other than a thriller when you've got Djokovic and Thiem facing off on a hard court. We know the two of the best hard court players in the world. Dominic Thiem's had a fantastic 2020, especially now he's had this result as well, reaching the Australian Open final, winning the US Open, reaching an ATP Finals final. I would like to see Thiem take the trophy home tomorrow. As I say, I think he's had the best year of his career and I think he deserves another trophy to show for that, especially with the form he's shown this week. Obviously Nadal and Medvedev have played fantastically well too, and I'm sure they'll play out another brilliant semi-final later tonight. And it'll be another great match tomorrow involving Dominic Thiem. But yeah, Thiem's playing incredible tennis, very entertaining, and I would like to see him take another trophy home tomorrow. But yeah, I just thought I would have a quick look back in the match and how I thought it went. You can not really pick any faults from either player throughout the match. It was a match that was separated on very little points. I think at one point they both won 114 points each, which just shows you how close the match was. And in the early exchanges, I thought Djokovic done very well. I thought pre-match that Thiem might start the match a little bit better and tee off from ball one with the confidence that he's had in every single stroke. But Djokovic served very consistently from the off, made a lot of first serves, backed it up with big ground strokes and tried to impose himself on the match and keep Thiem on the defensive side. I think early on Djokovic done a good job of keeping Thiem on their own, keeping him back behind the baseline where he couldn't quite hit freely and hit the winners that we know he can. And Djokovic got great depth with his rallying strokes early on. It went to 5-5 and it was a case of blow for blow really. Neither player could really get into the other person's service game. Thiem was serving incredibly well, hit his spots throughout the day on serve, backed it up with this huge, brilliant backhands or forehands that Djokovic couldn't return. And likewise, Djokovic served incredibly well, served a lot of aces and again got on the front foot when he could, attacked the net. But at 5-5, when you're sort of expecting the likes of Nadal and Djokovic to turn it on and use that experience, produce moments of brilliance, get returns in court and force mistakes out of the opponent, it was this time Dominic Thiem who done that to Djokovic. Thiem just upped his level at 5-5 just for 4 or 5 points. Played a few fantastic passing shots, if I remember rightly, and a couple of great winners, and broke Djokovic for the first time of the match at the best moment. He had to serve it out just the once, and he done it in style. I think he sailed that first set with an ace to take it 7-5. I thought it was a long way back for Djokovic then. We know how relentless Thiem is, how fit he is. Once he gets that confidence and stride in his step and he's timing the ball as well as he can and moving into the baseline with aggression, then there's nobody in the world for me that can live with the attack of Dominic Thiem. I knew Thiem was very, very good. I've watched him at the Australian Open and the US Open in detail, and I predicted him to win that US Open when Djokovic exited. But I've never seen a player strike the ball as hard as Dominic Thiem on a consistent basis. The forehand and backhand just paint the lines, but the spin and the power, the angles that he creates are quite incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a player hit the forehand and backhand as consistently on both sides. He's just an incredible player, and if you let him dominate the middle of the court in front of the baseline, then you're in for a long, long night. And I thought Djokovic done a good job. I thought he did keep him wide and keep him back behind the baseline. He forced errors out of Thiem at times, but Thiem just gives that relentless pressure, and as soon as he does get on the front foot, it takes him one good slap of the ball and it's not coming back, or at least takes massive control of the point. The second set was more the same really. They did get into each of the service games a little bit, but as soon as one of them got to 30 all and put pressure on, then the other player would just return with fantastic serves and aggressive tennis and hold off the pressure. I think there was just the one break of serve in the entire match, which shows you how well both served, especially when you consider that Djokovic is the best returner in the world. Dominic Thiem's not a bad returner as well. That second set tie break I thought was going to be Djokovic is really to lose. We knew Djokovic at that point had to win it. The pressure was sort of on him to produce, but when he's under that sort of pressure, he usually finds it. He's got a fantastic record in tie breaks, but it was one of the craziest tie breaks you'll probably ever see, not just in 2020, but ever watching tennis. I think Djokovic took it 12-10 in the end, but I can't remember every point in that tie breaks. There was so many, but I remember Dominic Thiem, I think, had 4 match points, double faulted on one. Djokovic went all out on one of Thiem's match points and found the line with a forehand winner. We've certainly seen him do that before, and it was Djokovic that eventually got over the edge at 12-10. And then you start to think, can Thiem recover from that? He's had 4 match points, he's now up against the world number one and the deciding set to reach tomorrow's final. How is he going to handle the pressure? Can he get over that disappointment of losing that second set that he probably should have won? But I talked about this in my preview video, that Thiem's gone through experiences now that have set him up for moments like this. He's came back from seemingly losing positions. He's won a Grand Slam title now. He's beat the best players in the world, so he knows that he can reset, he can refocus, and that as long as he can produce his best tennis, he can still win deciding sets and close sets and produce the best tennis in the biggest moments, and that's exactly what he done. The third set sort of raced by. Both players again just serving incredibly well, hitting all ground strokes fantastically well and gaining initiative in points by backing up the first serve with a great second shot, and there wasn't a lot separating them in that third set. I think Djokovic got into the team service games a little bit more than what Thiem did, but Thiem fought off the pressure fantastically well with, again, winners for fun, relentless backhand and forehand hitting. He's a fantastic shot maker, Dominic Thiem. He produces and goes for his shots when he really needs to find them, and makes them 9 times out of 10. And I think a tie break was probably the fairest way to decide it. As I said, I think they both won 114 points each. There was one break of serve in the match. And I think a tie break, was probably the fairest way to decide it. Whoever could produce the best in the tie break and hold the nerve, fair play, progresses to the final. And when Djokovic went 4-love up in that tie break, I thought, surely Djokovic wins from here. We don't often see Djokovic not win from 4-love, especially in a tie break, and Thiem just looked to be running out of steam. He looked to have lost belief. He played a couple of bad shots, unforced errors, and you think as long as Djokovic can win 1 or 2 of the next 4 or 5 points and get 3 or 4 match points, then it's gone. But you can never write Dominic Thiem off, write him off at your peril. He's got the ability, Thiem, now, where he's that good a shot maker and he possesses that good a ground strokes that he can just blow anybody off the court for a 4 or 5 minute spell, and that's exactly what he done. It was as if he thought, I can just play with freedom now. I'm 4-love down, I've got to go for it. And when Dominic Thiem goes through shots and plays with freedom and tries to hit winners and be aggressive, that's when we see the best Dominic Thiem. That's exactly what happened. He rattled off 6 consecutive points, and although Djokovic probably lacked a little bit of conviction and might have took his eye off the ball with that 4-love lead, I don't think Djokovic done a great deal wrong. I think it was more Dominic Thiem's brilliance. Djokovic aced Thiem, I think it's 6-4 to extend the match a little bit longer, but eventually Thiem made a first serve, came in with a great volley, and Djokovic went long, I think, with the attempted lob. And Thiem progressed, won 7-5 in that deciding tie break, and goes through to tomorrow's final to face Medvedev or Nadal. But that's why we enjoy this sport so much, and that's why we love this sport for what it is. To watch matches like that, 2 of the best hardcore players in the world, both producing the best tennis, an ultra close match that really could have went either way, separated by just 2 points in the end after 2 hours 45 of tennis, which shows you just how well and consistent both of these players were today. So just an truly incredible battle. I think you have to put Dominic Thiem up there now with the best players in the world. For me, he's the second best player in the world at the moment, and will be fighting for every title, I believe, next year. He's playing the best tennis of his life. He's had the best year of his career, and if he can top it off tomorrow with another trophy, then it'll be fully deserved and just top off what's been a fantastic year so far. Djokovic didn't do a lot wrong today. I didn't think he could produce that level of tennis that he did today after he's had a long year after the comeback of lockdown. He's played a lot of matches, he's played a lot of tennis. I don't think he'd played particularly brilliant in the three group matches, but in fairness to him, he played fantastically well today. He went toe to toe with Thiem, who's at the very top of his game. Another day, he would have won this match and progressed to tomorrow's final, but it's still a good year for Djokovic, and he's now got a chance to rest up for the Australian Open. But yeah, I just thought we'd do a video straight after what was a quite an incredible match. As I say, if you haven't watched the highlights of the match yet, then do, because you will not be disappointed. I'll probably do a similar video reacting to the Medvedev-Nadal match, and I will be doing a live commentary of that match as well on Grand Slam Tennis Online and covering the match on Twitter, so I'll leave links to both of them in the description below. But thanks for watching another video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.